this is the year for us to go deeper rather than wider, right? Let's invest in the relationships that we have and all that. Some of the conversation was really good last night. I had a good time talking with one of our brokers that we've done a lot of transactions with. We acquired, I think, over 6 deals or so with them.
Over 100 million worth, correct?
Yeah, easily. So
he likes us.
He likes us.
Because we closed.
Because we closed, and he was singing our praises, which is always good to hear. But what was interesting to hear from him was he reiterated the fact that how he loves how we provide feedback on every single deal that they share to us, so long as it's within our buy box, right? But they're not necessarily going to go spend time sharing a deal with us that's not in our buy box because they know our buy box.
Right.
That's a interesting takeaway because to me, it's something that I take for granted, frankly, because we've been doing it for so long and we don't really think much about it. But let me just explain what this is for people who aren't familiar. Basically, when a broker sends us a deal, if it's in our buy box, we'll underwrite it, and that takes some time. We have to analyze the existing financials, revenue, expenses. We have to build a pro forma using rent comps, using pro forma expenses. We need to utilize data services like Yardi to figure out our projections. And we also need to work on getting solidified debt quotes, property tax consultation, insurance quotes. So there's a lot that goes into underwriting a deal. And most likely, 99 times out of 100, you're not going to buy that deal, right? So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of looking for that needle in a haystack. And with every deal that we underwrite like that, we underwrite it sufficiently to where we can provide a confident and actionable offer or feedback back to the broker. Brokers love feedback because brokers are nodes of data for the market. When they put a deal out to market, right, and you're familiar with this, obviously being an agent broker yourself, when you put a deal out, you need data from the market to understand how is this deal priced, what's going to happen with the trade, what's buyer sentiment. And so brokers really appreciate when we say, okay, yeah, we'll pay $120,000 per unit for this deal. And because of our reputation and relationship, they know that that's not a wild offer, that's not an offer where we're just gonna tie the seller up and then look to retrade them. That's a legitimate, actionable offer, and they can take that offer to the bank. And it might not be the top offer, right? It most often isn't because we're a conservative, tactful, thoughtful buyer, right?
Can't buy everything.
Can't buy everything, exactly. But what you can do is you can offer on everything.
Correct. Which is a super interesting concept right there because you mentioned, what the bid-ask spread is, and it's great because not only do we get to provide them feedback to further enhance our relationship with one another, now the broker gets to go to their client and say, hey, good news and bad news. Good news is I got you an offer. Bad news, it's not necessarily what it to be, but at least here's some feedback and commentary from a legit and bona fide buyer who's got XYZ presence in the marketplace here. And then it also allows, them to feel more comfortable to send us deals early, and it just kind of a trickle effect that really is helpful for everything in the process, right? So super actionable that we can get that there, and then they'll give us feedback as well on the flip side if we came really close on a deal with them as to, hey, you missed it because this happened there. So those relationships, like anything, cut both ways. So providing that guidance is super beneficial, as I know being in the residential space, and that actually extends to more deeply than one would think. And let me explain on that, because what we are looking for, even with investors, is, hey, no problem. If you didn't like this deal, why did you not like the deal? So recently I've been doing a very good job of people have been really trying to emphasize, if someone doesn't want a deal or want to work with the deal or raise money for it, what's the reason? Is it a timing situation? Is an alignment issue? Or is it, hey, I don't like the deal because, XYZ is too aggressive, or I don't like the profile, it's not a value add, which is something we get recently. Exactly. So it's very valuable to know what's going on there. And on our end, I'm really working to spearhead when someone says no, why are they saying no? And also, if someone's saying no every single time, what I'm really trying to get to the bottom of is, are you actually just looking at your emails and deleting them, or not looking at them? Because if that's the case, I fully respect that. Maybe you're not someone that wants to buy in Houston, then I shouldn't be spending my time to think about you, to reach out, to send you the opportunity in the first place. Why do you want to spend a minute or two of your mental energy on that? And why do I want to send that out and have to go through the process of following up if it's just not something that we're going to mutually collaborate on at some point?
So to make an obscure reference that not everyone's going to get, but the watch fans listening will get, the way that we humbly feel about our offerings and about our company is we feel like we're offering people the opportunity to buy a Rolex Daytona Panda at retail.
Yeah.
Okay, not everybody's going to understand that, but basically in the watch business, if you are lucky enough to have a Rolex allow you to purchase a watch, you're buying it for, let's say, $15,000, but that same exact watch on the open market is worth $35,000. That is what we feel the value that we're offering.